Folks, there's a persistent myth floating around the gun counter, something maybe only 1% of shooters actually understand, regarding the reliability and real-world accuracy of the lever-action platform. Too many folks take one look at a lever gun and immediately assume it can't hang with a modern sporting rifle when we start talking about precision. They pigeonhole it as strictly a brush gun for short-range work. Let me tell you right now, they're dead wrong. The platforms we're breaking down today are going to completely shift your perspective on this traditional operating system. Plus, with the way things are going, inflation, politics, if you want one of these beauties, you need to see this list now. Before you go dropping your hard-earned cash on your next dedicated hunting rig, you absolutely need to see what's sitting at our #1 spot. These are not your granddad's saddle guns. Let's dig in and see which lever actions are bringing modern ballistic performance while keeping that traditional soul alive. Henry Big Boy Steel Carbine. What makes a carbine feel light as a feather in the hand, but still perform like a serious rifle? This Henry nails that balance perfectly. This is the Henry Big Boy Steel Carbine, chambered in .357 Magnum. It's not one of those aluminum frame toys they push now. 0.5 inches, that is ideal for navigating thick brush or for keeping behind the seat of your truck without sacrificing too much velocity. The round steel barrel features a 1-in-6 twist rate that is dialed in perfectly for stabilizing the full spectrum of .357 Magnum and .38 special loads. Unloaded, this thing weighs just 6.59 pounds. That makes it one of the lightest, fastest-handling steel frame lever guns you can get your hands on today. That large loop lever isn't just for looks either. It gives you positive, rapid cycling even if you are wearing heavy winter gloves, something my old knuckles appreciate. Mechanically, you are getting Henry's side gate loading system, a feature everybody was begging for. It is a proven safe system that will not go bang unless you pull the trigger. Now let's talk accuracy. Independent testing shows this carbine is capable of printing 2.4 to 2.6 minutes of angle groups. That's achieved using quality 158-grain .357 Magnum loads from Winchester and Black Hills. That is legitimate performance from a short-barreled pistol-caliber carbine. For deer-sized game, your effective lethal zone is comfortably out to 100 yards. Now that short barrel does come with a ballistic trade-off. You are going to lose about 100 to 150 feet per second in velocity compared to a standard 20-inch barrel. But what you gain in handling characteristics more than makes up for that loss. This carbine swings fast, it's shouldering instinctively, and the mild recoil of a .357 makes your follow-up shots lightning fast. Just remember its role. This is, at its best, a 150-yard rifle optimized for speed and handling rather than long-range precision. Wesson. #19. A critical facility can make your first project of the revelation. Wesson. Browning BLR is it. The Browning BLR combines everything we have discussed into the most capable, most accurate, and most versatile lever-action hunting rifle you can buy today. Here is exactly why this rifle earned the top spot on our list. First, the action. This is not a traditional toggle link or sliding bolt design. The BLR uses a rack and pinion action with a rotating multi-lug bolt head. This delivers genuine bolt-action lockup strength. It is bank vault strong, and that is why the BLR can be safely chambered in true Magnum cartridges all the way up to 300 Winchester Magnum. Second, the magazine system. It uses a detachable box magazine that holds 4+1 rounds in standard calibers, or 3+1 in Magnums. Just like that other rifle we saw, this lets you chamber modern pointed bullets, unlocking their full ballistic potential. And the chambering options are staggering. Everything from .223 Remington to 6.5 Creedmoor, .308 Winchester, .30-06 Springfield, and 300 Winchester Magnum. That list covers literally every hunting scenario in North America. Third, the accuracy. It is simply exceptional. Multiple testers time and time again report sub-minute of angle groups at 100 yards with quality ammunition. The 20 to 24-inch barrels are precision-made. The aluminum receiver cuts weight, but a steel barrel insert provides all the strength needed to handle Magnum pressures. Even the takedown models are known to maintain sub-minute of angle accuracy even after being separated and reassembled. A BLR in 308 or 30-06 paired with good glass is an effective 400-yard hunting rifle. With a 6.5 Creedmoor or 300 Winchester Magnum, you can stretch that effective range even further. This is not just accurate for a lever action, this is a legitimate long-range hunting rifle. Period. It just happens to be actuated by a lever. The BLR succeeds because it makes zero compromises. You get bolt-action accuracy, magnum-caliber options, the speed of a lever gun for follow-up shots, and beautiful classic aesthetics. Smith & Wesson Model 1854. When Smith & Wesson decided to get back into the lever gun game after being out of it for decades, they didn't just test the waters, they kicked the door down. The Model 1854 breaks the mold right out of the gate, offering standardized options that nobody else is really touching at scale. This platform is chambered for everything from the .357 Magnum all the way up to the heavy-hitting .45-70 Government. But the version we are zeroing in on today is the classic .30-30 Winchester. Inside that tube, you have got a 1-in-10 right-hand twist with 6-groove rifling optimized for modern projectiles. The weight sits right at 7 pounds empty, which in my hands feels perfectly balanced for quick shouldering, especially if you are hunting in thick timber and need to snap onto a target fast. Now, let's look at the guts because this is what makes it mechanically interesting. Smith & Wesson utilized a forged 4/16 stainless steel receiver. They paired that with an external hammer and a robust crossbolt safety. The action itself is a traditional toggle link design, which has been proven reliable, especially under stout recoil for a long time. For magazine capacity, you are looking at 6+1 rounds of .30-30 on tap. Now, here's a big deal. The muzzle is threaded 5/8 by 24 right from the factory. It comes ready to mount a suppressor or a muzzle brake. You rarely see that standard on a lever gun, especially at this price point. Using Hornady Lever Evolution ammunition, shooters are consistently reporting groups hovering around 2 inches at 50 yards. Now, let's do the math. According to field testing from Guns & Ammo, that translates to roughly 4 minutes of angle. That is perfectly acceptable for dropping whitetail inside 150 yards. But understand that this is not a match-grade precision instrument. Though, if aesthetics matter more to you, traditional furniture is available. This rifle is perfect for the guy who wants modern features like that threaded barrel on a traditional operating platform. In percent. Literally, one splitter living the cruises. One of the ways that we want official to. It might changes for the traditional furniture. We want critical first traditional for themselves. Marlin 1895 Dark Series. This is the rifle that simply it gets. Marlin's 1895 Dark Series takes that legendary .45-70 Government action and wraps it in a modern tactical package. But do not mistake that blacked-out aesthetic for a gimmick. This platform delivers serious big-bore capability. It is chambered exclusively in the thumper, that is the .45-70 Government. The Dark features a 16.17-inch barrel. It is cold hammer forged for durability with a 1-in-20 twist. Crucially, that muzzle is threaded 11/16 by 24. It is ready for a suppressor or a muzzle brake. And let me tell you, with .45-70, a brake is a very welcome addition when you start pushing heavy slugs. It weighs in at 7 pounds flat, though some field-tested models come in just a hair lighter. The nylon-reinforced polymer stock features M-lock slots on the handguard that allows you to mount weapon lights or lasers, and it makes the rifle completely impervious to weather. Here is the mechanical reality. 1095 action. Magazine capacity is 5+1 feeding from the tubular magazine. You also get a crossbolt safety, adding that extra layer of security, though I prefer carrying it at half cock. Now on to the accuracy report. Outdoor Life field testing showed 5-shot groups consistently landing in 5-inch circles at 100 yards with factory ammo. Let's be real here. For a short-barreled big-bore thumper using iron sights, that is practical, field-usable accuracy. However, once you mount a modern optic and start running hand loads, shooters report tightening those groups down to 3 inches or 3 minutes of angle. That makes this a legitimate 200-yard rifle on large game. And the 45-70 delivers tremendous energy transfer. With 300-grain loads, you are generating over 2,000 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. This rifle is an absolute powerhouse. It is a fantastic choice for bear, elk, and moose inside 150 yards. Marlin 336 Classic. For over 75 years, one action has pretty much been the gold standard by which all other lever guns are judged. The Marlin 336 Classic in 30-30 Winchester represents everything that is right about American lever guns. And this new version, manufactured under Ruger's watchful eye, brings back the quality control that this rifle frankly deserves. Brings another .25 inches with a 1 in 12 right-hand twist and 6 grooves. It is cold hammer forged for consistent accuracy shot after shot. Weight sits at 7.5 pounds unloaded, which gives you solid stability for offhand shooting without becoming a burden on an all-day carry through the woods. The stock is genuine American black walnut, features cut checkering, and that classic carbine-style butt plate that just fits right when you shoulder up. The mechanical reality. The action is Marlin's legendary solid top design with side ejection. The two-piece firing pin system is technically designed to prevent accidental discharge if the rifle is dropped on its hammer. Magazine capacity is 6+1 rounds of 30-30 feeding from a tubular magazine that has been proven reliable across millions of rounds fired over decades of deer seasons. Accuracy assessment. Accuracy testing from Outdoor Life showed the new Marlin 336 Classic averaging 1.627 inches for the best 5-shot groups at 100 yards. That is respectable performance, roughly 1.6 minutes of angle, from a traditional lever action design. The rifle particularly liked Hornady lever evolution and Federal fusion loads during testing. The 30-30 Winchester remains one of America's most popular deer cartridges for a very good reason. With a 150-grain lever evolution bullet, you are pushing 2,390 feet per second from this barrel length that delivers over 1,900 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. The smooth action cycles effortlessly, and the familiar controls make this rifle intuitive for anyone who has ever handled a lever gun before. These 5 rifles prove that the lever action is not a relic. It is evolving. When engineered with strong lockups and magazine systems that can feed pointed bullets, these traditional platforms deliver serious modern hunting performance. We are talking about tools, not plastic toys that need proprietary software updates. If you learned something today and appreciate this kind of in-depth breakdown without all the usual AI fluff, go ahead and hit like, get subscribed, and drop a comment down below. Now, tell me the truth, brother. Do you trust the 30-06 or the 308 when the pressure is on? Tell me below what you run and why. We will see you on the next analysis.